protection is how the privacy rights of individuals are safeguarded, including the collecting and processing of their personal data. The General Data Protection Regulation, also known as GDPR, was adopted in 2016 and came into force across Europe in May 2018. The GDPR strengthens the right of European citizens to data privacy, and the GDPR requires all firms to be fully transparent about how they're using and safeguarding personal data. Firms that are using or holding personal data are known as data controllers. However, data controllers can allow another firm, known as a data processor, to process personal data on its behalf. And doing anything to personal data, including storing it, is known as data processing. Brokers are data controllers, but they may also act as data processors from time to time. Data controllers control the data and its use, and all brokers are considered data controllers. GDPR sets out 6 key principles for the general data protection regime. These key principles directly and indirectly influence the other rules and obligations found throughout the legislation. Therefore, compliance with these fundamental principles of data protection is the first step for controllers in ensuring that they fulfill their obligations under the GDPR. Process data fairly. Collect data for one or more specified, explicit, and legitimate purposes, and use it only in ways which are compatible with those purposes. Ensure that the data is adequate, relevant, and not excessive in relation to the purposes for which it was collected. Keep data accurate and, where necessary, up to date, and take all reasonable steps to erase or correct inaccurate data. Retain data for no longer than is necessary for the specified purposes. And finally, keep data safe and secure, including taking appropriate technical or organizational measures against unauthorized access, alteration, disclosure, accidental loss, or destruction of the data. Data protection guidance and templates are available on the Brokers Ireland website. You can locate these on the compliance support page under data protection, and within this section it includes data protection guide and FAQs. These 2 documents dissect the GDPR legislation and sections applicable to firms, including the grounds for processing data, direct marketing, data breaches, data retention, and more. Data protection templates include data protection policy, privacy statement, retention policy and schedule, internal breach notification policy and breach record, complaints policy, and subject access request policy, among more templates. Members can amend these templates to suit their firms. Data protection information documents include e-privacy and use of cookies guidance, data processing agreement explanations, brokers and processing health data, and differences between privacy policy and privacy statement. The firm's privacy notice should be provided when onboarding a new client, and the privacy statement should also be included on your website. Marketing guidance includes data protection and e-privacy and guidance on how companies should move towards GDPR compliant marketing. And finally, standard contractual clauses, including information and guidance on SECs within the EU and outside of the EU. The Brokers Ireland Data Protection Guide is provided for information purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. The legislation itself should always be considered the primary reference source, and members should also refer to the website of the Office of Data Protection Commissioner for updates. The Data Protection Commissioner is responsible for upholding the fundamental right of individuals in the European Union to have their personal data protected. It monitors organizations to make sure they comply with the GDPR and also other data protection legislation. It can also deal with complaints in relation to data protection breaches. You will see from this webpage, report a breach of personal data. It explains the obligations on firms to report a breach. The Brokers Ireland Compliance Unit can help members on any GDPR queries or issues they might have. You can contact us on 01 661 3067, email compliance@brokersireland.ie, or you can use our online chat facility for any quick queries.